Come one, come all, welcome to Game News USA. And today, I proudly stand behind our American flag and talk about the most patriotic video game of all time. I'm so excited to make this video. I wear an American mask on my face, for God's sake. Please remember to hit the like button, share, and subscribe. And thank you for watching the video. And if you're wondering what the most patriotic game of all time is, the answer may surprise you, unless you read the description or looked at the thumbnail. The answer is, it's the CONDUIT 2. Of course, none other than the CONDUIT 2 from the Wii. You may be wondering, what the hell is the CONDUIT? What's the CONDUIT 2? Why is it the most patriotic game ever? I shall explain. The CONDUIT 2 was a first-person shooter game developed by High Voltage Software for the Wii. It is a sequel to the video game The Conduit, and it used the Quantum 3 engine. It could be played with Wii Motion Plus, Classic Controller, or Classic Controller Pro. The CONDUIT 2 released to mixed reviews and failed to meet sales expectations, despite the game ending on a cliffhanger. And boy, oh boy, are we gonna talk about that cliffhanger. I would give my left note for the CONDUIT 3. I really would, just to see where they were gonna take that story after that cliffhanger. Let's look at the gameplay. If you look at the gameplay, CONDUIT 2 had a single-player mode that had many changes from the first game. Players now had the ability to flip over objects. Wow, breathtaking. Such as tables, bookshelves, and soda machines to use as cover, and shoot off enemy armor and helmets to expose weak spots. A sprint button has been added to allow players to charge or flee from opponents. How modern of them. Players can ride on vehicles in certain levels and fire weapons from them. Well, this is rivaling Halo, isn't it? At the beginning of levels, players can choose their weapon loadouts and customize their character's appearance and ability upgrades. The use of iron sights has been implemented and grenades explode on a timer. Levels are less corridor-based in design with multiple paths to explore. The game's story unfolds during gameplay through triggered, scripted sequences instead of through cutscenes as in the first game. Enemy AI has been enhanced to make them appear more lifelike. Enemies have conversations between themselves when they are unaware of the players. High Voltage stated they intended to concentrate more on art and story, both areas which were criticized in the first CONDUIT. CONDUIT 2 takes place in many locations throughout the world. The game is set in Atlantis, because nothing's more American than that. In Washington, D.C., Argentina, Serbia, the Amazon, England, and China, CONDUIT 2 features 16 campaign missions at an estimated 6 to 8 hour length, as opposed to the CONDUIT's original 9 missions at 4 to 6 hours. The game also featured boss battles against large aliens and 21 weapons. Not 19, not 20, 21. What's more American than that? In addition, such as the Aegis device, which catches rounds fired by opponents and then fires the collection of ammunition back at them, or a mobile turret that can be picked up and moved to different parts of the level. Along with the standard single-player, multiplayer online modes, the title features 4-player split-screen multiplayer with offline and online modes. The online element features increased security over the first game to prevent hackers. Nevertheless, hackers still managed to create a bunch of hacks, such as infinite health. I would never do that, would I, guys? Working on public matches. Bounty Hunter mode returned from the first game. Heck yeah, it did. as well as the new co-op mode, which features invasion mode, in which players combat waves of enemies on the same console in split-screen mode. The game allows up to 12 players to battle online, and was one of the first Wii games to support the PDP Headbanger headset. Conduit 2 supports patching to allow fixes and bugs and glitches in online multiplayer. Don't know how much they use those patches. Let's get to the plot, shall we? The real reason you're here. The real reason I'm talking about this game, and why it's the most patriotic game ever. Salute this game. The backstory for this game is told primarily through scannable conspiracy objects scattered throughout the game. Conduit 2's backstory relies heavily on Sumerian mythology and the reptilian conspiracy. A conspiracy that's true, a conspiracy theory that the Anunnaki, a group of Sumerian deities, were actually extraterrestrials who used humans as slaves for entertainment. The progenitors fill this role in Conduit 2, serving as the basis for the Anunnaki deities and having since scattered themselves across the world, secretly controlling and influencing the governments and people of their respective areas. References are also made to Tiamat and the Deluge myth. Guys, this game probably got canceled because it was telling too much of the truth. Maybe. So, let's see. Immediately after the events of the first game, Michael Ford follows John Adams, yes, that John Adams, President John Adams, through a conduit and ends up on the Glomar oil rig, a trust platform. He realizes that though he destroyed the trust base in Washington, D.C., he did not destroy the trust. The oil platform is the western corner of the Bermuda Triangle off the coast of Florida, and is being attacked by a giant tentacle sea serpent called the Leviathan. Before stranding Ford on the platform, Adams makes Ford the offer to join him, which Ford promptly refuses. The Leviathan is defeated by Ford, but in a final act of defiance, eats Ford, only to regurgitate him into Atlantis, an alien spacecraft that was used by Adams, Prometheus, and their siblings to arrive on Earth. There, Prometheus gives Ford the black exoskeleton suit of the destroyer, before they proceed to awaken a human woman, Andromeda, from hundreds of years of stasis. Andromeda reveals to Ford that as he bears the destroyer's exoskeleton, he is aptly titled Destroyer, whose purpose is to destroy the Pathfinder, John Adams. Andromeda uses the ship's conduit to take Ford to Cold War-era bunker in D.C., outside of the Smithsonian. Here, he finds the Drudge, fighting each other, with one group led by a Drudge drone named Thex, calling themselves the Free Drudge, and one group serving the Trust. Ford uses architects in the museum to find locations of the two progenitors who could assist Ford in the battle against Adams. Upon returning to Atlantis, Ford finds the ship unstable and has to fight a giant stone golem to stop the ship. Once doing so, he learns that Adams has been killing the other progenitors and stealing their power in order to increase his own. They don't teach you this in history class, kids. Using the coordinates gained at the Smithsonian, Ford arrives to China to warn a progenitor named Lili. However, they refuse to listen to Ford and believes him to be an assassin. Michael is forced to kill Lili, upon which Prometheus takes Lili's energy into the ASE, the All-Seeing Eye. Using a second set of coordinates, Ford arrives in Siberia, where he finds the Free Drudge led by Thex attacking the Trust. The Free Drudge assists Ford into getting to Katarina, a female progenitor, who the Trust hold captive, waiting to give her 2 atoms in order to ensure that Michael can defeat Adams. Katarina sacrifices her energy to the ASE. Andromeda radios to forward coordinates, taking him to the lost city of Z in Central America, where Thex takes him to the dropship. They find a female progenitor dead, then takes her energy to the ASE as well, before revealing his true plan to donate all the energy of the progenitors into Michael so that he can kill Adams. Though this means that Prometheus will have to die as well. Die for his country. After Michael gets the energy of all the progenitors, he proceeds back to Atlantis via a conduit. But the ship is attacked by Adams and the Trust. Andromeda programs the ship to teleport to the center of Earth, Agartha, where Ford destroys Adam's human form. Michael manages to overcome and destroy Adam's alien form and absorbs the latter's energy into himself as well. The ASE, sensing that all the progenitors on Earth are destroyed, sends a signal out to the Oort cloud, in which Tiamat, a dormant alien spacecraft of limitless knowledge, rests. And this is where it gets nuts, people, if this is what you've been waiting for. Tiamat awakens and heads to Earth as the conduit in Agatha opens, and several men in destroyer armor, including George Washington and Abraham Lincoln himself, arrive, telling Ford that they have come to help them in the upcoming battle. And that's the cliffhanger. That's how the game ends, and we never get a Conduit 3. George fucking Washington and Abraham Lincoln come down from a spaceship and tell you we're ready to join the fight, and then credits roll. It's the most patriotic game ever. It's apple pie. It's grandma's apple pie. Nothing is more patriotic than this video game right here. The Conduit 2, does it suck a little? Yes, it has a charm that's unmatched, and I would do anything, and I mean anything, to get the Conduit 3. Guys, that is why the Conduit 2 is the most patriotic game ever. And I urge you all to get a Wii and go play the game and see for yourself. God bless America. Thank you for watching the video. Have a good one. I'm out. Peace.